So this dropped in the International Business Times, but it happened a while ago. But Oklahoma police officers charged for fatally shooting black man who was complying with officers' orders. I won't show this video because it is horrific. But two former police officers in Lawton were charged with first-degree manslaughter Friday in the shooting of a black man in December. You know, it's just the story we've heard now a million times, but police were called for something they thought they were needed on, show up, scream a bunch of crazy instructions, and just immediately unload on this guy. He was unarmed, and just shoot him a bunch of times. Yeah, it's a horrible video, so I don't really recommend watching it. But in this case, the officers were investigated, fired, and now charged. So yeah, I mean, at least somebody in Lawton
With
proper felt some sort of way about it. But yeah, it was a bad deal, real bad deal.
It's just like, even whenever we like do exactly what they tell us to do, they still shoot us. So it's just it's fucking exhausting at this point. It's 2022. It's like it's an incredibly hard to watch video. I've seen it. I really don't recommend watching it because it's so graphic and it's infuriating because he's literally doing what they're telling him to do. He's doing what we all assume you're supposed to do whenever you're getting arrested, which is put your fucking hands up. And every time he put his hands up, they just shot him more. It's not making any sense. It's not making any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like he like tried to back away when he saw a cop with a gun, and it's just like, you know, he probably just panicked because somebody had a gun in his face.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just crazy.
And anybody who's like, well, he didn't act correctly, he didn't respond correctly. It's like, it was nighttime. He was at the back of his house. There were two cops just immediately outside that door, lights on him, guns in his face. And when there's a light shining in your face, you can't really tell what's going on because you're fucking blinded.
Yeah.
And then after they had shot him, they drug him to the end of the driveway while they waited on first responders to get there. I don't think they administered any type of aid while they were waiting on them, but
yeah,
it's just a total, what a loss. Like, police department, like you can't get your job done without literally killing somebody in the process. Maybe you shouldn't have that job anymore.
If I know people don't want to hear the words abolish the police because it's terrifying and it scares you. But the fact is that this state has one of the most deadliest police forces in the entire country. And that's not just Oklahoma City, it's not just Tulsa. It's the police culture that's across the entire state. And whether or not you believe that somebody should be armed or shouldn't be armed, but 9 times out of 10, anytime a gun is involved in any situation, somebody might die. Always. No matter what. It's a huge problem. Like, you know, it's another thing to say that, like, in this country, you know, police might argue that, you know, criminals, they have all these weapons and all this sort of stuff. Okay, rubber bullets. All right, something else. Anything else. Because, like, your first intention should never be to try and kill somebody. That shouldn't be your first reaction.
Yeah, they say that maybe there was like a report that he had a gun, but then I don't think they ended up finding one. It's just such a mess. Like, it just seems like one of those things where it's like everyone just needs to slow down on these things. Like, it's like you don't have to like roll in guns a-blazing and just start shooting people.
I mean,
like,
but Nick, it's just like the second you see a police officer, especially with any form of experience you've ever had, like your blood pressure, your anxiety, like everything, like shoots up through the roof.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
like whether if you're brown, if you're black in this country, like it immediately sears through the roof.
Yeah, it's like it's an immediate physical response. Like you see a cop and like you can be completely at ease. You're not even doing anything illegal, but you see a cop and you're immediately no longer comfortable and you're just like staring at them until they're no longer in your like vicinity.
And then on the other side, like situations like this, it doesn't even seem like the other person whose whole job is supposed to be to like serve and protect you. Like they don't. It doesn't feel like you care. It feels like this is something that you just have for fun. Like you
Yeah.
take people's like lives for fun. Like that's what the sentiment feels like for folks who look like us towards people in the police. This doesn't make it any better. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was a bad deal. And yeah, we'll follow along and see what level of justice gets served. But it is interesting that they've already fired him and did that.